Tua Tagovailoa stood at the podium after a humbling loss in Indianapolis, reflective and self-critical. He broke down his costly interception to Tyreek Hill, explaining how the mechanics of his body didn't sync with the decision in his head, a moment that opened the door for disaster. But it was his larger point about looking in the mirror that struck the deepest chord. The Dolphins, after an off-season of quiet recalibration, now face a truth they may have been avoiding. Their attempt to rebuild while competing may not be sustainable. Against a Colts team still finding its own footing, Miami looked unprepared and unconvincing, raising serious questions about its identity. Tagovailoa's uneven play is just part of the story. The once feared Hill-Waddle duo appears diminished against defenses deploying hybrid personnel to counter their explosiveness. Hill's frustration boiled over on the sideline, mirroring his stripped captaincy and prior discontent. If his presence has become a distraction rather than a spark, the Dolphins must consider the unthinkable, whether his trade value outweighs his contributions on the field. Meanwhile, Zach Wilson lingers as a possible alternative, having seen snaps late in the blowout. Though hardly inspiring, his presence at least gives Miami optionality if Tagovailoa continues to stumble. This loss wasn't just about offensive stagnation. Miami's defense collapsed in historic fashion, conceding points on every single Colts possession. Not since 1978 had an NFL team experienced such futility. With Daniel Jones carving up the secondary and the run defense gashed repeatedly, there was no semblance of resistance. For a franchise still holding playoff ambitions, it was an indictment of roster construction and coaching alike. Owner Stephen Ross once questioned whether the organization was built to win under its current vision. That doubt now feels prescient. General Manager Chris Grier has been in place since 2016, but what direction is he steering the scouting and roster process? Is Miami clinging to the illusion of progress, or is it willing to pivot decisively toward a future that better aligns with reality? Sunday's unraveling should serve as more than just a Week 1 hiccup. It must be a moment of clarity. To borrow Tagovailoa's own words, the Dolphins must look in the mirror, not at season's end, but now, while there's still time to reshape the path forward. This campaign may best serve as a live experiment, laying groundwork for 2026 rather than chasing a fading vision in 2025. Sometimes, the hardest truths arrive early, but they are the ones that demand action most.